The Lakers have a crucial game in Memphis tonight. They were without Anthony Davis on Tuesday, which amounted in a loss to Golden State. Now remember, AD was hit in the face on Sunday versus Minnesota. He is expected to play tonight, listed as probable, and spoke to the media at shoot-around this morning.
Our job is to focus on these next two for the game tonight and then on Sunday. At the end of the day, no matter where you are, I understand that you still have to win. So for us, it's about taking one game at a time, whether that's 10th place, 9th place, 8th. That's our mindset. Like, no matter where we are, we just got to win.
So Anthony Davis, he says he feels great and the Lakers are going to need him. I feel like that is an understatement next week as LA is locked into the play-in bracket. So Perk, is health the only thing that can keep the Lakers from advancing to the playoffs?
No, the rest of the West is keeping them from advancing to the playoffs, right? And look, think about the teams that are in the play-in tournament. They're not trash. They're really good teams. They're just in a great conference. So when you think about the Lakers, one, yes, you need Anthony Davis and LeBron James on the floor. They have been on the floor for majority of the season, but you need others to rise to the occasion. You need D'Angelo Russell to continue to be consistent, right? You need Austin Reeves to continue to do what he's been doing best. You need Rui to continue to deliver what he's been delivering on both ends of the floor. So they got to get it done collectively. Health is one thing, but it's just they're in a tough conference which is making it difficult.
You know what I keep thinking about is, we look at these teams and the Lakers are in 10th, the Warriors are 9th. Okay, do you know how many 45 wins what seed 45 wins would have got you last year in the West?
Thank you.
The 4 seed.
Mm-hmm.
The 4 seed. The Phoenix Suns had 45 wins last year, and they were the 4 seed. So you can look at the play-in tournament and say, oh, it's a disaster if you were in the play-in. It's the Warriors, it's the Lakers, the Suns. But they all have more wins than they had last year when they were higher seeds. The Lakers were the 7 last year with 43 wins. And so this is not a failure by these teams. That's just how good the Western Conference is.
But this is an anomaly because, okay, Perk, who do you feel the best about in the Western Conference? I'm assuming the Nuggets.
It's the Nuggets. Outside of that, it's a lot of other teams. You got the Timberwolves, right? We see how they're playing right now, feisty on the defensive side of things. The Dallas Mavericks, although they got a tough matchup with the Clippers, the Pelicans at the 6th spot, they're balling right now. They could be a sleeper. This is just a great conference. But if I had to give the edge to anybody, it's the defending champs. It's Jokic and the Denver Nuggets. The best player in basketball, the best duo in basketball in Jokic and Murray, and the best starting 5 in basketball with Murray, Jokic, Porter, Gordon, and Caldwell Pope.
I think the Dallas Mavericks would like a word.
Ooh.
Because that has been the hottest team over the past month of the season. We won #1 defense since the All-Star break. Like, they've been running. And I think in that second round, if that ends up being the second round matchup with Denver, that could be interesting.
But with the Pelicans win over the Kings, they can no longer move up to 7. Sorry, Bay Area. They do have a 30% chance to get the 8th seed, according to ESPN Analytics, and will need a Kings loss to do that. So grab your popcorn because tonight will be a playoff-type atmosphere in the Chase Center because New Orleans is tied with the Celtics for the best road record in the entire league this season. So, Perk, which team has the edge tonight, the Pelicans or the Warriors?
I'm going with the youth. I'm not talking about Jonathan Kuminga and Podziemski. I'm going with Zion Williamson, Point Zion, the one that his jawbone is actually showing right now because he's so in shape and he's been dominating in all facets. And then I'm going with the wing position of the New Orleans Pelicans. Murphy, this kid can flat out go defending on both ends of the floor. We know with C.J. McCullough, we saw he had a 30-piece plus last night. He's been balling out of control. They have great depth on their bench, and also they're ready. They're ready. Willie Green has these boys fired up. I'm looking, they coming in on the back-to-back. They win these next two games. They know they secure the 6th spot. I'm going with the Pelicans.
So, Ramona, I know you follow Golden State very closely. They're coming into the play-in or playoffs pretty hot. Where are you taking?
I mean, I'm going to give the edge to the home team, but it's just a slight nod just because they're back home at Chase Center. I know it's not a long drive from Sacramento to San Francisco, which is what the Pelicans are going to have to do. But they rested Draymond. They rested Klay Thompson to be ready for this game. This is for everything. And whenever the Warriors are tired, whenever you think they're done, that man, number 30, usually comes up with a big one. Last year, I thought they were done. He scored 50 against the Kings in Game 7. I don't even know how he was still standing up. He was so tired. But I feel like this game is for everything, and they do have home court advantage here. Although Pelicans a great road team, and I think like they do have the ability to shoot the lights out and get a big lead here.
That is true, but let's go big picture for a moment because here's how the West play-in race stands with 2 games to go. So the Pelicans and the Suns are fighting for the 6th seed to avoid the play-in tournament, while the Kings, Warriors, and Lakers are tied for the 8 through 10 spots. And they all try to make it look like, trying to get to that 7-8 game. That's what they're looking up at. So the Suns are fighting to stay out of the play-in tournament. So, Perk, do you think the Suns need 6th, really, that 6th spot to contend for a title this year?
Contend for a title? Who's contending for a title? The Phoenix Suns?
Well, when we started the season, that was the standard.
No, but we all came back to reality on this one. Look, the Phoenix Suns, whether they get in the playoffs or not, they're still in this the second round. You cannot trust this team. They don't trust themselves. The lack of leadership is something that we've been harping on all season long. Who is going to be the leader? Who is going to be the guy that has the ball in their hands when it matters the most, especially in the fourth quarter? Is Kevin Durant? Is he willing to get uncomfortable? I can't sit up here and put faith or trust in the Phoenix Suns to say that they can make a serious run for us getting to the conference finals or the finals in this Western Conference when we're talking about the Nuggets, the Timberwolves, the Mavs, the Clippers, however you want to call it. The Suns are not better than either one of those teams.
Yeah, I think New Orleans hold on to that 6th seed because they have the Lakers Sunday, final game of the year, and guess who is talking about making his return that game? Brandon Ingram. Loves to give his old team the business. He's been out for a while. He's talking about coming back that last game. He would love nothing more than to play spoiler, keep them in the 6th, send the Lakers to the 10.
You are the president, ambassador, everything of the New York Knicks. If the Knicks and the Celtics meet in the playoffs, Perk, would Jalen Brunson possibly be the best player in that series?
Hell yeah, and I'm going to take it a step further. Outside of the Denver Nuggets and with Jokic, Jalen Brunson has the capability of being the best player in any series outside of Jokic. Look, when it comes down to it, I don't know what other sides we have to see. We got the appetizer, we done got the entree, and damn it, he's giving us the dessert right now. And he's doing more with less. So let's talk about the MVP conversation. He should be top 3 right now. He has been the best player in the Eastern Conference. Every time he go up against any of the top dogs in the East, he come out victorious. And we think about what he's doing right now. No other all-star on the side of him. No disrespect to OG Anunoby. We know what he brings to the table. No disrespect to Josh Hart. We know what he brings to the table. Isaiah Hartenstein has been playing exceptional basketball. But there's no other young superstar caliber player that is playing right now that doesn't have an all-star caliber player playing alongside of him. SGA, he got Jalen Williams. Luka, he has Kyrie Irving. Jalen Brunson at 6 foot is doing it by himself with a collective of role players. Talk to me nice.
You did just have Allen Iverson on, he's going to be on the show later today. So I understand where we are and where this ranks in history. Jason Tatum would like a word, though. Okay, like Jason Tatum would be the best player in that series. And that's not a disrespect to Jalen Brunson by any means. And I'm actually curious what Woj thinks, because like you've done your whole career in the East Coast, in New York, covering the Knicks, covering the teams out there. Have you ever seen a player come into the Garden like this?
What Jalen Brunson has done, not just this season for the Knicks, but coming out of Villanova, he wasn't a mystery. He was the National Player of the Year in college basketball. He won multiple national championships in Villanova. He didn't play out of the spotlight. He still wasn't a first-round pick. The Mavericks had a chance to sign him to a really low extension number. They didn't do it fast enough. They lose him in free agency. even the Knicks didn't really know, and they know him better than anybody. His dad's on the staff. His former agent, Leon Rose, is their president. They didn't expect this, that they were signing. They knew they were getting an all-star, a potential all-star point guard. They're getting a player now who can be the best player on a legitimate contender. And what Brunson has done, not just this season, it is hard to remember a player who has taken steps the way he has, and you stop saying that he can't be the best player on a championship team, because every time you say that's as far as you can go with Jalen Brunson, he elevates it again.
Yeah, Perk, I know you made a sound.
And you know what's crazy? Well, you know what's crazy is this, right? It's not crazy. I like Woj on set with no tie, but I love the Woj that comes with a tie. Because damn it, if you're going to be speaking the gospel like that, then keep speaking it. Because here's the thing, right? The last time the Knicks was this relevant, I believe it was 2011. They're on pace to have a 50-win season right now. Do we realize that? They're also on pace to secure possibly the #2 seed, which I think Milwaukee is actually trying to get the #3 seed. Again, Jalen Brunson is doing more with less than any other superstar.
And you see, too, teams reflect, the personality of teams reflect their best player.
True.
And the reason the Knicks have overcome the injuries they've had this season is they follow his lead, which is he competes every night. He doesn't take nights off. Their identity is Jalen Brunson. And certainly it's what Tom Thibodeau has wanted to build in New York. It's worked in the regular season. The idea that they could have the second seed with all the injuries they've had, Randall out, OG Anunoby missing as many games as he's had. But will it translate in the playoffs when you get into long series with teams where what we saw from the Celtics defensively last night is going to look different in the playoffs?
Yeah, let's stick there, though, with the Boston Celtics, because that's a good point, because the Celtics have dropped back-to-back games, and Joe Mazzulla doesn't seem too pleased with what he's seeing.
What I would say is that we just got out-toughed the last 2 games. We haven't played to our standard, returned to physicality. The game has shifted a little bit. It's going to shift even more in the playoffs.
I did not like the effort level in the first half, but like you said, I think it's just a tough spot to be in. I think I thought our guys have handled that as best as they could, and you ran into our last 2 games against 2 teams that are highly, highly desperate. And as much as we want to be able to simulate that, that's just not the position that we're in.
It's weird because typically, Perk is high as a former Boston Celtic, but he's high on the Knicks. So, Perk, I'm wondering, do you have a word to describe the Celtics right now?
It's been a minute. It's been a minute. It took a lot of research, but I do got one. It's hubris, okay? It's hubris. Put the definition up there. Damn it, for the world can see it. Yeah, it's hubris. Here we go right here. The word of the day is hubris when it comes down to the Boston Celtics. And basically what it is this, right? It comes to the fact of excessive pride and self-confidence, arrogance, okay? And here's why. When you look at the Celtics, we all have played a role in crowning them too early, right? Oh, they have the best team in basketball. Yeah, obviously they have the best record. Oh, they have the best starting 5 in basketball. Oh, they traded for Kristaps Porzingis. They're really ready to take it to another level. But can we pump the brakes real quick? Because they actually got to complete the mission. The Celtics haven't done a damn thing. Their season actually doesn't start till April the 20th. So they got to stay humble through the process. They got to stay locked in through the process. It can't come off as, oh, we already clinched. We're just waiting on the postseason. No, every single night that you step foot on the floor, you have to be consistent. And people thought I was overreacting when I saw the Celtics lose 2 games back-to-back to the Atlanta Hawks. No, the whispers were out. If you get physical with this team, you have a chance. If you make it close going into the 4th quarter or late in the stretch, you definitely have a chance. And they need to change this narrative and make sure these last 2 games, even if they're starters and they 5 doesn't play, the others need to come out and compete at a high level, and they need to get ready to go into April the 20th, the postseason.